And I think there's going to be some pretty upset people this year, you know?
Yeah.
Mate, it's getting colder. You said you've had snow, right?
Yeah, we had a little bit of snow, actually, yeah. It is getting really cold, especially now in the water. Outside, I mean, we are prepared for it. I have a big duvet and a jacket and everything. But out on the water, it's starting to get really cold now. Yeah, I'm using gloves. I've been doing that for like a month now. But
what temperature will be the minimum that you'll go out in? Well, 1 or 2 degrees you'll still go, or that's getting too cold?
Depends on how bad I'm missing it. But yeah, I actually have a picture from I would say 3 years ago or something, with me and Kent Ellegaard, the Danish guy, riding with me a lot, and with Nick as well. And we are out riding. There's a hole in the ice, on water that we are riding on, and we actually, to be able to go out to that little pond in the ice, you have to walk over the ice and ride in that. So you can see, our the quick release is like full of ice, and our clothes, our wetsuit, and everything is like ice on it. That was like, I would probably say -5 or something. Yeah, that was really cool, but it was fun. It's not like we do that. Were you wearing a dry suit, or you were actually in a big thick wetsuit? We are wearing wetsuits. Yeah. So I had fleece, inner fleece rash on, like for warmth, and then the wetsuit, and then I have a hoodie outside. So yeah, 3-4 layers. Good for you. Yeah. Mate, I won't go once it's under about, no, that's a lie. I think probably the coldest I've ever kited in, honestly, maybe like 20 degrees. Wow. 20 degrees. And then I'm in a full 3-2 with the heater on in the car, getting warm before I go out. God, I sound so weak. Have you ever tried snow skating? No. Like gone away and tried snow skating? Mate, I've only seen snow fall a couple of times in my life. One time in Russia. I mean, I'm from Auckland. I'm in the north of New Zealand. It doesn't snow there, so. But I lived the last 20 years in Dubai, so definitely no snow. I saw snowfall in Russia, but I have seen snow falling, but maybe a handful of times, not many. Maybe less than 20 times I've seen snow falling from the sky. Yeah. We don't get a lot of snow nowadays either, especially where I live in southern Sweden. But we are traveling to ride on snow, usually the slopes up in northern Sweden or Norway, but or mid Sweden. It is actually, it's not even north. But lately we have been going away for snow kiting as well. It's a totally different kind of feeling. It hurts a lot more when you're falling. Sure. So, can you ride with smaller kites because you don't have the resistance of the water? Yeah. So exactly, you don't need the power to get you like out of the water and up. What's it called? Planing. So you can ride with much smaller kites, and to be honest, I kind of mostly enjoy riding foil kites when I'm riding on snow. Because you don't. I mean, it's so much easier to carry with you, and I need to pump it up, all that stuff as well. Yeah. Depends on what you're doing as well. I mean, if it's light wind, I usually go for freestyle when I'm snow kiting. But if it's a little bit stronger, we can go up the hills and mountains and just glide downwards or whatever. Do you use skis or snowboard? Both, actually. I'm more of a snowboard kind of guy because I've been snowboarding since I was like 10 years old. So for me, it's more natural. But most of the guys that I ride with actually go with skis. See, I see in Ragnarok, right? I mean, after speaking to Josh and Lassie and those guys who did Ragnarok before, all of them have said, if I do it again, I'll do it on skis. It is more comfortable because that, especially on those long distance races, right, to be on one tack
can really wear your legs out, rather than just going forward all the time, being pulled forward and you're going from side to side rather than back and forward,
Yeah, I totally agree. If I were to go on a longer trip, I would prefer skis every day because I mean you're always standing on, like when you're kite surfing, you always stand on the heel side edge, but you can't tilt the board in the way you can do in the water. So it's really hard on your feet and knees and everything. So yeah, skis are to prefer when you're snow kiting. If you're,
by the way, I do ski, and it sounds so strange to say I haven't seen snow falling, but I do ski and snowboard. But I used to snowboard, and all my friends snowboarded, but a lot of them have gone back to skiing now. With the smaller parabolic skis, the smaller skis. A lot of those guys have gone back to skiing. A lot. So yeah, I don't mind either. Actually, I'm happy to ride snowboard or skis.
Yeah, I'm mostly skiing now myself as well. I used to snowboard all the time, but I'm enjoying the carving feeling of I have some really good vertical skis, so I really enjoy that, and so I'm a skier now more than a snowboard actually. But I always have my snowboard with me, and our daughter, she's 11 now. And she really got the hang of snowboarding last year. So we are looking so much for it, because my wife is snowboarding as well. So it's fun to have the whole family on snowboard.
Absolutely.
Actually.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, and now our son is saying, I want to snowboard too. I want to snowboard too. So yeah, so this year, hopefully we can go, all of us.
Sounds good.
All right. This is the Forecast Kitesurfing Pod, of course, with me, Michael Ericsson, and as always, I have with me Adrian Kerr. Today's topic will be, it is a really exciting time in kitesurfing. For me, I'm mostly stranded now because, we have no wind, and also it's really, really cold. So you don't and it's also dark. It's so pitch dark in Sweden all the time now. But we do get a lot of videos for King of the Air entries coming. So that will be the topic of today, the big topic. So have you seen them? How many have you seen?
Yep, definitely. I've watched. I mean, I'm not going to say I've watched all, but I've watched the ones that I think are the most important ones to watch, because there are guys putting in videos that I don't think who are going to have a chance. But yeah, I've been very impressed. But again, quite clearly, kite surfers don't know how to read rules. Number one, it's pretty clear that these guys have no idea on reading what the actual rules say about putting videos in, because some of them are just like, did they even read it, or they just put a video on for the sake of putting a video in?
Yeah, I actually pinged one of the guys that I know and told him, hey, do you know that in the rules you have to see the landing? I didn't get a response, but he I think in that 1 minute clip he put in, we could probably see like one landed trick or something like that. And
no point of view either, man. I mean, guys have been putting point of view in all the time.
But I'm kind of okay with a little bit of point of view in the videos, as long as they have like 2, 3, 4 massive jumps being done where you film it the right way, because that gives a sort of a dynamic to it. For me, it's also this is, as you said, this is a way of putting your hand up and say, hey, I want to be in. This is a video. Go check me out. But also for us, the spectators, to be able to find the right, guys for the competition, it's also good to see a little bit difference in the sort of the entry video as well. There's a lot of videos with, I would say, pretty much the same tricks. So I'm more stoked about the videos that have some variety in them, and also that show off some tricks that not everyone is doing.
Sure.
Yeah. Sorry, go.
I mean, my position on this is probably not a popular decision. Honestly, I think the judging criteria is there, but I think the guys know who they're looking at anyway. I think it's, as I said to you, it's a great way to put your hand up to say, look, I'm interested. take notice of me. And I always tell younger riders, I always tell those guys, look, if you want to get into this big air game, you've got to start putting videos into everything, every time, everywhere, because your name will become reoccurring and you'll start seeing those names pop up. And given a chance, like you do at Cold Hawaii or maybe Tatajuba or something like that, do well, and your name comes to the top of the pile. So I feel that, yes, the videos are important. And we've seen in the past that videos don't also necessarily mean that having a good video means you're going to get selected. And that is not popular for people to hear, but it's been the reality of what we've seen. Will we see a difference this year? I hope so. But I can only go on what the past has done. And in the past, we have seen dubious selections at times. So I'm sort of looking at key areas, when I look at these videos. For example, I'll give you an example. Like, I think Lewis Crathen's video was excellent, but he doesn't have the style of the video is great with the wind and what he's doing, but it's older, big air riding. There's no board offs. He's in boots. That's never going to be a winner going forward. Because we've seen that now. So therefore, I would put him in that close pile. I would look at him and say, okay, this is a great video, but is it what they're looking for? I don't know.
Yeah, I was actually going to bring up Louis' video later on as well, but we can do that now. I really liked his video too, and the tricks in there. And he has the double boogie loop?
The doobie loop, as he calls it.
The doobie loop, yeah, exactly, the doobie loop, yeah. And but one thing that is that sticks out with his video is that he just put a bunch of clips together. There's no audio, no music, nor anything. It's just
I kind of like that though. I like that. I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah, I did too. And what made me smile a little bit extra is that I saw on his, I think it was his Instagram stories, and he actually tributed another rider saying, "This is the first KOTA video entry that I didn't have to have ear." Filters on, or whatever he said, because there was so loud music, and that was actually one of the guys. I don't remember who it was, but he had some classical music to it. So it's fun that he said that, and he had no video, no audio at all on his.
But that's also in the criteria, right? Yep. It does say it doesn't need to be an over-edited piece. Just show us your best free tricks with landings, your name at the start, the country you're representing, which nobody, very few percentage of their name and country. I think a lot of the really young, hopeful guys are reading the rules and doing it properly. Keep it under 1 minute, and there's a whole bunch that are 105, 110. I mean, Guy Bridges is 2 minutes long. I know that. The guy in the sit chair, his is 3 minutes long, but it's a King of the Chair. He's got a King of the Chair video, which I thought was quite cool. Again, as unpopular as this sounds, I don't think the name and the country is going to be a big decider whether that gets thrown out or not. Because they said if you don't meet the criteria, we won't judge you. I think that's great to say. Whether it happens, I don't know.
No, I think they have a sort of a mind already set which ones they want to have in there. Yeah, but I have a feeling, I haven't counted the entries from previous years, but this year it's way above, I would say way above 60. And that's
about right. Every year
sending in.
That's about the same number every year. The last couple of years have been getting 50 to 60 around that number. So that is in line with what's been happening, but it has been on the rise, definitely. That's about right. And I would expect next year to be bigger with the more riding, more situations happening. So that is fairly common. I mean, there's a lot of guys in there who are putting in videos who really don't stand a chance, but just getting the videos in for the sake of being in, you know, which I think is cool as well.
Yeah, that's also one thing that I was thinking about when I watched these videos. I wonder how most of these riders will actually manage the winds and the conditions in Cape Town, and also, you know, being able when you are at the competition. And that's why I think it's so important with the Beer Kite League and the competitions we had, like in Copenhagen.
Yep.
Well, not in Copenhagen, in Denmark, with the Cold Hawaii, to get these people that actually, I mean, the level of the videos, I must say, is really, really high. I mean, it wasn't many years ago where, you know, there was a handful of people that can actually do a boogie loop in the world. And now everyone is doing that and megaloop board offs.
I think a better example is the megaloop board off, right?
Yeah.
I think Ontana and did it, and then Nick broke his leg doing it, hurt his ankle doing it, and that was only 2017. Yeah. Now, if you can't do a megaloop board off, I mean, you're not even in the picture, really, you know?
No.
I mean, within 3 years, the level just went crazy. So I think the megaloop board off is, I remember that year at King of the Air when there was like 2 guys doing it before the competition, scored high. By round 3, a bunch of guys had been starting to land him, and they just started bringing the marks down for it because it didn't seem to be as high scoring as it started out to be. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. I mean, I don't know where they can go next, to be honest. It sounds like the unhooked stuff, you know, as I said, you know, on Colin Carroll, he asked me what I thought, and he put it on his show, and I said that I think that unhooked variations sounds like the next step. You see what Jesse's done? I know there's a lot of footage going around of Jesse's, you know, dangle pass with 2 bar passes and 400 spins and stuff, you know. So I think we might see a little bit more of that, which I think is great, but not everyone can do that as well. You know, that becomes a whole nother thing again.
Yeah, and I've been thinking quite a lot about that since, because we talked a little bit about it, and I've heard you say it a bunch of times, and I do think that, first of all, I do think that they need to change the ruling of the competition to make that happen, because it is 70% height and 30% extremity, and if you unhook, you aren't going as high. Potentially you can, but most of the time you aren't, so you won't be scored as high. And then again, if you are jumping like 25 meters and unhooking, I mean,
it sounds so crazy just to say that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I heard you guys talking about, you know, the level of the height of the kite in terms of the freestyle competition in comparison to how much you can injure yourself if something goes sour, you know. Yep. And the same thing is here. Do they want to push that level so people actually starting to get injured a lot more, both before the competition but also on the competition? So I'm not so sure that is. I would like to see more of it for sure, and especially I would say those who can do it, they don't get scored that high. I mean, Mark Jacobs, I think, has been robbed of many points in the competition.
The thing is, though, man, if you think about it, and sorry to interrupt you there, but what actually happens, though, where, for example, like how Mark and Jesse, you know, using those 2 guys as an example, have pushed through in heats, is that they've had similar scores for their boogies and their late backs and stuff. But then when it comes to the overall impression, which is the sort of third score, that's where they've actually scored the points, because they've had the variety. They've shown to unhook, and maybe it's not been a big score for them, but when it comes to the overall impression, they're getting that little push over the line. So I think you need those variations. You need those variations to get that mystery score, as I call it, you know, because we don't really know how that's been scored, but that seems to be the cherry on the cake in each round. If you can bring something different, which is set up for like Yannick to do, right? He can bring some, you know, huge, very different variation. Yeah. That should be the little extra going through and to push you deep into the tournament.
I agree.
That's how I see it. I don't see it as a big scorer, but what I do see it as that thing. But if you think about Jesse, not last year, but the year before, when he got top score, when he did that, same dangle pass, 5,000 spins, he only scored like a 7.25 for that, I think. And this year, Nick scored like a 9 or an 8.9 or something high. And I'd spoken to Alex Flieger about it, saying, when will we see a 10? We see 10s all the time in surfing. When will we see a 10? We see it in freestyle. If they don't give anyone a 10 this year, I'm going to be disappointed.
Mm-hmm. So what would be a 10 for you?
Who knows? But dude, you can get a 10 in surfing in a 1 foot beach break in Rio if you like tear the wave apart and the thing is, man, everyone always looks, we didn't have the right conditions. That's not the point. The point is that you use the conditions to the maximum you can and you pushed at such extreme levels for what you had. Why shouldn't you deserve a 10 for that?
Yeah, exactly. I agree. Totally agree. Yeah.
So it's not about the move. It's about extracting everything you can out of what you're given. And in surfing, they give a 10, and in freestyle, they give 10s. So why don't we see 10s in big air kiteboarding?
Yeah.
It's like this mythical thing that they think no one deserves, but I think these guys deserve 10s probably more than most.
Yeah, I agree. Do you have a favorite entry video?
Favorite entry video.
You mentioned Louis. I think that was a good. I mean, it's a good video. It's not my favorite.
There's lots of good videos. I mean, there's lots and lots of good videos. I thought Liam's video was great. I thought Jason Vanderspay had a good video. There's lots of good videos. How can you? That's the thing, man. So everything's different, right? Different conditions, different this. It's hard to say what's a good video, what's not a good video. See, the thing
I'm
is,
asking.
Yeah,
I mean, I have a few, so that
tell me
a little bit more stuck in my mind, and one is one that I lifted a week ago when I was doing the Kiteboarding Daily, and that's Clement Huot. I don't know.
Clement Huot.
Yeah.
I got something to say about Clement because I've been pro Clement. Look, he does amazing videos.
Yeah.
Super powered, unbelievable videos, great all the time, fantastic, but he's been in 3 major competitions that I've seen in the last year. King of the Air didn't do very well. Cold Hawaii didn't do very well. Lords of Tram didn't do very well. How many? That comes down to it, right? It comes down to the same thing. I think he's a fantastic rider and his videos are awesome. But how many times do you give a guy a chance if he's not? See, you got to be tough in this, man. I mean, if you look at the list of people. You actually have to start being really tough on these people. Like, okay, we've given Clement 3 chances to prove himself in competition. And I'm not saying Clement can't do it. Maybe he's just got to get his head right. But how many chances do you have to give someone before you think, okay, look, let's maybe give, Arthur Guibert a chance on Elevate. Give him a chance. He just won. He won Lord of Tram. He's a young guy. Got a new guy in the Big Air scene. Let's give him a look.
Yeah.
So I think it's not just about making it. It's not like a boys' club. Once you're in, you're in. Once you're in, you used to be in. But I think now, once you're in, you've got to prove yourself at that level. And if you don't, you should be pushed to the back of the line, and someone else should come in.
Yeah, at least needing to prove yourself on a minor. I wouldn't say minor, but not the major competitions, but
on any competition.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not just King of the Air or Cold Hawaii, the Lords of Tram. You need to be able to. I mean, though if you think about Lords of Tram, right, especially and Cold Hawaii, Clement should be all over those. I mean, he's a King of the Air competitor. There's only about 5 King of the Air competitors in that competition. So he should have been all over that. He should have been using his experience in those big competitions to drive through. Okay, it's a big guy. Maybe the conditions weren't right, but who knows? I mean, it's three big air tournaments stick out to me. And this goes back to what we talk about all the time, Why do the same winners win? Maybe they've got competition experience, So I don't know. I don't know, but I think Clement puts out fantastic videos. For me, I don't think he's proved it he's been given opportunities and not proved it.
Yeah, and I didn't mention him as the video I think should win in terms of getting into the competition. But looking at video-wise, good videos, I would say that many of the videos that we see are pretty much, I mean, they look sort of the same. sound sort of the same. But Clement, I think his video had a different style, different sound to it. And also I have two others that I actually really liked, and it was Edgar Ulrich posted a video. And he did some tricks in there that I haven't seen anyone else do. And same as you mentioned with Arthur Guillier, the French guy. He did a mega loop tic-tac. And that was, I think, the first one I saw. Probably not the first one ever done, but it's sort of kind of same with Simon Brun. He's doing his one-footer buoy loop. Something that sticks out, compared to what everyone else is posting in. What's making me smile a little bit extra when I'm watching it. And there are some really good videos in here, for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, going back to the rules and regulations, it does say it doesn't need to be an over-edited thing. Just show us your best 3 tricks.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Again, I'm not sure. I'm looking at the list of riders here that I think will make it, and I think there's going to be some pretty upset people this year.
Yeah. Do you want to share your list? What do you think from the video entries? Or should we keep that?
I'll take a photo and send it to you. Here's my. I'll tell you what. I will talk about one key area that I think is going to be interesting, which is going to be the South African numbers. Okay, so. How I see it is I think South Africans are going to either have 3 or 4 spots. And I know it doesn't matter what anyone says. I think for a South African home event, they're going to look to at least get 3 or 4 South Africans in there. They'd be crazy not to get those guys in. And to get into those 3 or 4, let's say 3 spots, you've got Stuart, Josh, Ross Dillon, Jason Van der Spey, and Mike McDonald. And actually, thinking of good videos, I actually thought Mike McDonald's video was excellent. Probably the best video he's put in. So now you've got 5 guys trying to get into 3. You've got 4 guys that have ridden the event last year. And then Mike, who had a great video, trying to get in. So I think that South African grouping is going to be really interesting. And I know people say, there's no groupings, there's no that. But I think there's going to be 3 or 4 South Africans. I don't know who that makeup is going to be, but that's going to be tough. That's a tough group to get in. And that's only because I think it's their home event. And if they had 1 or 2 South Africans, the crowd would go crazy, right? I mean, so it's good to have South Africans there. It's good for the sport. So I know that there's no official rule, but that's how I see it. So that's going to be tough.
If they qualify in their riding skills, which they do, then for sure. I mean, it's. I agree with you, and it is. It's a really long list of really good
Stuart's
riders.
Video was that, sorry, what? I said I didn't think Stuart's video was that great, but again, Stuart was the highest. Stuart and Josh were the highest finishing South Africans last year. Ross won a mega loop, so winning a major, it's a bit like you sort of get a bit of grease on the wheel there. Jason Van der Spey rode last year, did well, put in another great video, has improved amazing amount, and then Mike has just improved his riding out of this world and doing amazing things for big air, and he's got all the tricks now. He's got the mega loop board off. He's got everything dialed in. So
it would be really good for the competition to have Mike in the competition, I would say.
I don't. Did Ozzy put in a video? I don't think he did. Right?
I haven't seen. No. Actually,
I actually had Ozzy written down here, but I crossed his name out because I didn't think he did. But Ozzy always rides in boots, and I'm not sure they're happy about guys in boots. But I've crossed Ozzy's name out because I didn't see him, which would have been 6 guys trying to get into 3 or 4. So if Ozzy's not there, it makes it a little bit easier. I mean, I hope there's no one from South Africa that I've missed on that list.
Yeah, interesting. I have some more things that I've seen and questions that I want to bring up with you before we're done. In terms of women, how many videos have you seen? I might have missed some, but
I've seen one.
Yeah, Pippa. Yeah.
See, here's the thing. Now let's talk about the 3 wildcards.
Yeah.
See, in my conversations with Sergio, and I will send Sergio a message off the record. I will share it with you. But I got the feeling Ayrton was going to get another wild card, but I have seen now 2 or 3 other strapless guys. I think we saw maybe James Carew and
Deloitte
and Camille Delannoy put in videos for strapless. I personally don't like strapless guys in the competition. I've said that. I'll say it again. Like what Tom Bridge said in his podcast yesterday, very controversial podcast, by the way. He said, it's like me turning up in boots and saying I'm going to ride a wave event.
Yeah.
You know? They wouldn't let me do it. I can understand. I'm not happy about that because I think that this year is going to be harder than ever because we've gone from 24 to 18 in a year that's completely all over the place. So it'll be very hard to make. I think that takes up a spot. I think Anjali will get a spot. Sorry, Anjali. I think she'll get another spot, which leaves one other spot. So if they're going a strapless and a female, I kind of think they're going to maybe potentially go for a younger rider and maybe look at someone like Jamie Overbeek. This is what I think. Again, guys, none of this is based on facts. This is just me thinking around about what I've heard and the way they've done things in the past. So my 3 wildcards would be Ayrton, Anjali, and Jamie. But again, saying that could be not as well. But that's the kind of way, that's how I kind of feel that it might go.
I'm sort of thinking the same way. There is another question that I would like to bring up in terms of that. And have you seen Sam Light's video? I
haven't seen it. I've seen it posted, and because I haven't had a chance to look at it yet.
He has titled that King of the Air 2021 Wildcard. So for me, it was like I was thinking, why do he write wildcard on his video? I don't know if it has anything with the wildcard, but that made me think, maybe
I think I've seen other people do that as well. Did Aduri write that as well? Because I see Aduri's put in a video.
I don't know actually. I didn't see that, but maybe, yeah.
Yeah, Aduri's there. Aduri's put a video in.
Yeah.
What did you think of
anyhow, I don't think he would be crazy to have Sam Light as a wild card, I would say. But since he wrote that, I was a little bit, maybe he knows something that we don't know yet. But I do think, I agree with you. I don't think, Ayrton and his performance and his writing is amazing. But let's keep that to a different kind of, a competition on their own. And have, as you said, I would rather see someone else, one woman, one young kid, and maybe something else. I don't know, but yeah. I
think it's just taking up valuable space, to be honest. Yeah. To be honest, I don't think even 3 wildcards. I think, why give wildcards? Yeah. The whole thing is a wildcard competition,
Yeah,
we've got the spots. We've got Jesse, Aaron, Nick, and Kevin already locked in. 3 wildcards, which only leaves 11 guys. It's 11 guys. Okay, so I think already, let's say Liam's guaranteed to be in because barring injury. So I think if you take Liam, Mark, and Stephen Ackersdyke, who I think they'll look after due to the change of the position, that only leaves 7 spots, man. That's 7 spots for everybody. Hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That leaves 9 spots. 9 spots for the rest of the fleet. It's not a lot. Let's say to give that to 4 South Africans. That's only 5 guys for the rest of the fleet after that. You're talking, and that's not including the Lasses, the Yannicks, the Stigs, the Simon Bruins, the Arthur Guibers, the Martin Hagers. There's a huge amount of guys and talent trying to squeeze into this tiny field. That's what I'm saying. This year, someone's going to be upset.
Yeah. I agree with you, and that's also why I sort of asked the last time if it's not a time to see an extension of the format in some way. I don't know how, but maybe having
they don't. They've gone
like a qualifier or something outside of the live streaming, keeping it.
I think if next year they go for the 6 fly twos, which is the plan, right? So you have the top 3 plus 6. That's 9. That only leaves another 9 spots. It's even gets smaller. But in saying that, what that does do is, and if let's say next year there's 3 wildcards as well, that means there's only 6 spots available, which is ridiculous. That means that those fly twos are going to be ultra competitive.
Yeah,
because guys are going to be flying everywhere to try and get tickets.
Yeah. That's
it's exciting times.
In one way.
Exciting. Pardon?
let's say, I was thinking about that. We were supposed to have the bigger kite league competition here in Sweden. Let's say that we were able to have like a fly to event instead, you know. There will be a totally different kind of start field, of course, but then that competition here in Sweden will be so much more valuable to everyone, you know. The riders that do get in that are local, maybe we can have like a qualifying competition up to the fly to event instead, you know, doing that. And the whole media and the sponsors and, you know, everything, it will bring so much more to the whole competition and to the format if we were able to have that on the table. And for me, I think it's better to have people showing their competence in a competition format than putting a 1 minute video in and to choose. I know now that there were supposed to be more fly to events, so we are in a different situation here. But still, if we have so many video entries coming in next year for so few spots, I'd rather have more fly to events instead.
Well, do you remember what Sergio said, right? They want fly tos everywhere. So they've got Europe. They've got 2 in Europe with Megaloop and KOTA.
They want to have one in each continent, I think. That's
so then they've got the one in Hawaii. They've got one in, well, let's say Cabarete, which is Central America, South America sort of thing. They've got the one in Asia. There's still Middle East as an option, maybe, or South Africa, do another one in South Africa, something like that. So there are options to do it because not everything is confirmed on that yet, but I think it's going to be exciting times. That's going to make for huge competition at these events. And again, you're going to have a certain level to be able to get a fly to, right? To be able to qualify for fly to, you're going to have to show that you're the level of riding and the judging and the infrastructure is in place.
Yeah.
Maybe the fly twos will change before we know. Yeah. Maybe there'll be a fly to in the UK. Maybe there'll be a fly to. I mean, the UK, they've got so many riders there. When they need a big air event, you know.
Yeah.
But I
agree.
Look, looking at this field, looking at my field,
the thing is, I do think that also I would like to see more of a not more. I would like to see more flight twos as well. But if we can't have that many flight twos, then I would like to have let's say there was a collaboration between King of the Air and Bigger Kite League. So in terms of if you are entering a bigger kite league competition, you actually, of course you will get experience, but you also get like material, you get whatever we can, that can help you get into the competition. And more importantly, if you do get in, then be prepared for the competition. I would like to see more collaborations like that, like gathering the whole bigger kite competition. Because as you have said before as well, we have 1 or 2 competitions a year that are like stamped, the major bigger competitions. And then we have gotten the fly twos, which is really good. But still, there are very few competitions where you can actually count as being preparation for the majors.
It's a tough
Makes
one.
sense?
Yeah. But I mean, I think that's going to take more and more. I think it's going to more and more. I think it's going to take a few years to settle. I think this year some people are going to be pissed. But I think it's going to take time. It's like anything, right? Nobody likes change. But once you get over the shock phase and you get over the shock of adaptation and the product starts to develop, you look back in a few years and go, oh, that was the right move, Yeah. So maybe down the line we're going to look at this and say, wow, that was actually a good move to do that because now we're getting a great standard coming to the grand final, which is King of the Air. The best riders in the world are competing, and we're seeing this amazing level. But I think it's going to rock the boat a little bit with the fly twos, and I think it might take some time to settle down, but I think in the long run it's going to be good.
Yeah. You know what? I haven't seen your video. When did you enter?
Mate, my video. Dude, what am I going to do? 12 knots? But mate,
you know what? There's actually one video entry that is worse than if I were or you were to put a video in. We will be better than this guy.
Who is it?
Yeah, Pablo Di Meglio, I think it was. He did like a 3 decimeter jump. But the fun part about this video, I can link it as well, that is that he talks about him going there, teaching these guys how to jump high and everything. So it's a fun video, but it's tagged like KOTA.
Is he taking the piss?
Sorry?
Is he taking the piss or is he serious?
No, it's just just for fun, Yeah, it's really, really fun. I can send you the link later.
Thinking about it now, man. For the wild card position, I think it should be 1 wild card, and the wild card position should be given to the current world record holder, the guy who's holding the world record for that calendar year up till December 31st of that calendar year. At the end of the year, the person who holds the world record, in this case Martin Hager, will get the wild card to King of the Year
for that year.
So for that year, no, it doesn't matter. So like 2020, right? Come December 31st. Let's say December 1st, when the videos are in, whoever's the world record holder at that stage gets an entry.
Even if that record is from like 2018 or something.
No. Well, yeah, it doesn't matter if it's unbroken for the next 2 years. That same person gets it, right? But every year it moves a little bit. So, for example, that will actually push people to, to try the Woo access. So you actually get 6 entries plus a Woo record, which actually will push the sport even more as well.
Yeah, I mean, if they are judging height,
I'm gonna talk to Leo Koenig about that and say, Leo, here's an idea for you.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea because it is still 70% height in the judging criteria. So I think
why shouldn't the highest jumper in the world be there? King of the air.
Exactly. Yeah. I agree with you. I agree for sure.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
One wild card next year. 1 wild card.
I will go for that. That's probably my no.
Because otherwise it's going to be too hard, man. I mean, if you're talking about 6 guy, the top 3 plus 6, that's 9 plus 1 wild card, 10 only leaves 8 spots. 8 spots. So it's I think next year 1 wild card, King of the Air entry, and 8 guys out of the videos, or 8 guys with the backhanders or sponsors. Who knows? Who's your pick? Give me your writing list. You want to shoot? I
haven't thought of the complete list, to be honest. I can have.
Who is the bolter who you think will make it this year?
Oh, there's so many good riders. I'm kind of hoping that Mark Jacobs will be up at the top there. I think he deserves it.
No. Who's your bolter to be in the competition this year? To make it into the team list? Like a guy come out of the blue, you think?
Oh, yeah. Come out of the blue. I don't think we will see a name coming out of the blue.
Maybe not.
To be honest, I think Arthur Gilbert is it's a good good pick. He is proving himself and he's really pushing it. And now also with showing off some new tricks, I would like to see him. Also, of course, Yannick. For sure. I mean, Yannick has been. He's
not a bolter. Yannick's not a bolter. I think he's going to be not. I'm not going to say he's a favorite, but he's going to be up there with one of the top picks. But
yeah, I think so too. Who else? It's so hard,
I think Simon. I've got sort of Simon Bruin and Arthur Guibert both pinned in that sort of.
Yeah, Simon Bruin was one name too. I would love to see Tom Ridge, but I was hoping that he will, be able to prove himself on the KOTA Hawaii. Unfortunately, he got injured, so he couldn't there. What did you think I would like to see his style in the competition.
Yeah, what did you think of Lightwork, his latest edit? Did you see it today?
I haven't seen it today, actually. I've been away today, but yeah, I've seen it in the social media, and it's getting really good reviews. So I'm going to it tonight. Yeah.
Enjoy it.
Yeah, I will for sure. I'm hoping to see Stig in there as well. I think Stig has both the skills, the style, and the personality. He's one of my names as well to make it to the list.
As we mentioned, Stig, the Holy Quran starts playing.
The what?
I said, can you hear the Quran in the background?
Oh, yeah. No, I don't hear. No, I haven't realized that. But on that note, I think we need to end this episode. We can talk about this for ages.
And I need another beer.
And you need another beer. Adrian, let's do a follow-up on this when we actually do have the writing list. I'm guessing it will be...
I think it's coming out on the 10th, isn't it? 10th of December?
10th of December, all right.
Yeah.
So then we do an episode when we have the list and
we'll do our final Christmas episode of the year.
Sorry?
I might even work. We can make it our Christmas episode.
Christmas episode. Should we do Christmas Eve? No.
No, shit, no. This one can be the last one of the year, 15th or something like that.
Yeah, we can try to have maybe the last one or depending on what happens. I mean, we still have the whale list we haven't talked about, so maybe one more.
Maybe we can do a post whaley show just before Christmas.
Post whaley show, yeah,
the whaleys.
Yeah, that would be good. You know, it would be good to pick your brain a little bit about the afterbirth of the whaleys. You know, what you thought and the comments you got and everything.
Okay, that's a good idea. 18th. I think the whaleys will be out on the 18th. I think that's the pinned date.
Yeah. So yeah.
So that's something like that.
So cool. we can have one Christmas extra where we have
why not
Santa hats or everything.
Santa hats and whiskey.
Yeah, exact. That's perfect. Let's do that.
Sounds dangerous.
Yeah. Good night.